Kenya's first Vice President Jaramogi Oginga Odinga took over the captainship of his siblings, sidestepping his elder brother Oburu and his sisters at an early age, a role he carried to the national stage.
In 1952, when we were hardly 10, he organized the Luo Union and moved all over East Africa. He moved with my brother Raila. Me, I was so jealous because he didn't move with me to Uganda, where he was mobilizing Luos in Uganda and also in Kenya to form a trading corporation called Luo Thrift and Trading Corporation, and then Luo Union. Luo Thrift was the trading arm of the Luos, and Luo Union was the social arm of the Luo community. So he moved with Raila in Uganda. So the next time he took me now to mobilize the Luos in Tanzania.
After his father's detention in 1969, Odinga returned from Germany, and just like the saying goes, like father, like son, he asserted himself in the political arena, forming alliances and dispensing them at will when they no longer served the purpose, earning him the title, the enigma of Kenyan politics, by author Babafemi Badejo, due to his chameleonic political maneuvers.
He has succeeded because he must. If he doesn't succeed in doing those handshakes, he will perish politically. So he has to do it in order to survive politically and be able to exercise the two choices. One, being a king and fighting to be a king, and two, fighting to be a kingmaker and an elevated kingmaker in a very competitive society that is Kenya. And when you are coming, where ethnically or number-wise, you're behind. That's the basis of Mutai Gunyi's tyranny of numbers, right? So if you have the tyranny of ideas and tyranny of strategy, what do you do with the tyranny of numbers? That's the big question that was raised at that time. But you can give it to Raila Odinga. He has been a very astute person. The claim to patriotism, I think, has force. It's a patriotism. No, you cannot be patriotic and at the same time you're opportunistic. There are words that cannot be in the same sentence unless you are not a good writer.
During the second liberation that started off in the early 90s, Odinga joined the likes of James Orengo, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, Paul Mwite, Getobo Manyara, Kiraitu Murungi, Muhisa Kitui, and many others in the push for multi-party democracy. According to insiders, the late Jaramogi preferred the intellectuals, Orengo and Nyong'o, instead of Raila due to his abrasive nature and his impatience with change. Odinga's survival instincts kicked in the battle to succeed his father in Fort Kenya after his death in 1994. The election to replace Jaramogi was held at Thika Municipal Stadium, where Odinga lost to Kijana Wamalwa after the Young Turks ganged up against Odinga. Odinga resigned from Fort Kenya and his Lang'ata parliamentary seat, which he contested in the by-election and won. Ahead of the 1997 general election, Odinga was covertly used by Moi to scatter the opposition's chances of winning the election. Moi's pointman, Mark Too, popularly known as Bonadawa, used to bankroll Odinga's presidential campaigns. Odinga at the time was also securing the mantle to be the de facto leader of the Luo community, a succession battle that turned bloody in the streets of Kisumu. Odinga was to prove his growing influence by defeating Anyang' Nyong'o in the Kisumu rural parliamentary seat to Joe Abomino. Nyong'o ran on Charity Ngilu's SDP party and campaigned for Ngilu in that election. Despite Nyong'o joining Odinga, Orengo was defiant and contested the Ugenya parliamentary seat on the National Social Congress seat and won. It was after the election that Odinga surprised Fred and Foe after his first strategic handshake with Daniel Moi, a man who detained him for 9 years to stabilize the country. Odinga became KANU's Secretary General and Minister for Energy.
I went to see him in Committee prison, and he was in black uniform, the one for people who are on death sentence. So when I saw him, I started shedding. My tears were coming out. And he's the one who was now comforting me. And yet I thought he was the one who was